Imagine a voice that could make a nation weep, and then imagine the system that tried to silence it forever. This is the story of Billie Holiday, Lady Day, and how one protest song became her death warrant. Her artistry was pure, transcendent magic. Billie Holiday, with her velvet tone and unparalleled phrasing, captivated millions across the globe. She sang of love, loss, and longing, commanding stages with a presence that defied the era's brutal segregation. But within her extraordinary talent burned a fire for justice, a fire that ignited with Strange Fruit. Now you have to understand that Strange Fruit wasn't just some hit song. It was a defiant scream against the horror of lynching in America. Sung for the first time in 1939, it forced white audiences to confront the brutality of racial terror. It was an act of raw courage, a profound challenge to the status quo. And this courage drew the unwanted, obsessive attention of Harry J. Anslinger, the first commissioner of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics. Anslinger saw Strange Fruit not as art, but as an existential threat. He viewed jazz musicians, especially black artists, with suspicion and disdain, determined to control their influence. His relentless pursuit of Billie Holiday wasn't about drugs alone. It was a personal vendetta fueled by her refusal to stop singing Strange Fruit, a calculated effort to silence one of the most powerful black voices of her time. Anslinger's war against Billie was systematic and long-standing. His agents hounded her for years. In 1947, she was arrested on drug charges, leading to a brutal year in prison. Upon her release, her cabaret card, her livelihood, was revoked, effectively banning her from performing in New York clubs. Imagine the cruelty. A global icon, barred from earning a living in her own city, her every move watched, her addiction a tool for her oppressors. While white artists struggled with addiction often found treatment, black artists like Billie faced only criminalization. Every performance of Strange Fruit was an act of defiance, each note a nail in her own coffin. By the summer of 1959, Billie's body was failing, ravaged by years of relentless touring, addiction, and the psychological toll of constant surveillance. In July, she was admitted to Metropolitan Hospital in New York, suffering from severe liver and heart failure. She was gravely ill, yet the persecution knew no bounds. On July 12th, as she lay dying, barely conscious, police arrested her in her hospital bed on drug charges. Her room became a cruel cage, under constant police guard. They even confiscated her record player, her only solace. She was denied appropriate medical care for her addiction, treatment that might have eased her suffering or offered a chance at recovery. The focus was punishment, even as life slipped away. For 5 agonizing days, the world watched as Lady Day was stripped of her dignity, a prisoner even in death's embrace. On July 17, 1959, at just 44 years old, Billie Holiday died. Her official cause of death was medical, but the tragic truth is undeniable. Billie Holiday was pursued, persecuted, and ultimately killed by a system determined to silence her voice and erase the truth she dared to sing. The price of Strange Fruit was her life, but its legacy and her courageous voice echoes eternally.